That night didn't begin with explosions. It started with something quieter. A low, distant hum in the sky. One by one, hundreds of drones entered Ukrainian airspace. Not fast, not instantly destructive, but enough to trigger one critical response. Air defense systems had to engage, and just as attention began to stretch thin, a far more dangerous threat appeared. The Iskander-M, fast, precise, extremely difficult to intercept. This wasn't just an attack, it was a pattern, and on April 30th, 2026, that pattern looked more refined than ever. According to Ukrainian reports, over 200 drones were launched in a single night. Around 172 were intercepted. On paper, that sounds highly effective. But in modern warfare, it's not just about how many you stop, it's about how many get through. Because it only takes one gap, one delayed response, one uncovered sector, and the impact can be significant. This attack also included at least one Iskander ballistic missile, and that raises a key question. Why does nearly every major strike now include one? To understand this, we need to look at how Russia structures these attacks. Drones like the Shahed 136 aren't just cheap weapons, they're tactical tools. They go in first, trigger radar systems, force air defense operators to make rapid decisions. Every interception takes time, every defensive missile has a cost, and when hundreds of targets appear at once, the system doesn't fail outright, it becomes overwhelmed. This is what's known as a saturation attack, and in the middle of that pressure, the Iskander is launched, not for volume, but for precision. At this point, it's fair to say this approach reflects a level of coordination that's far from simple. A common question is, why can't it be intercepted? The answer isn't simply lack of capability. The Iskander travels at extremely high speeds. Its trajectory can be difficult to predict, and the reaction window is incredibly short. Systems like the Patriot missile system are designed to counter threats like this, but there are real limitations. There aren't enough systems to cover everything. The country is large, and not every location can be protected at the same time. So this isn't about inaction, it's about timing and coverage. Russia's official statements typically claim the targets are military facilities, energy infrastructure, industrial sites supporting military operations. From a strategic standpoint, that logic holds. Disrupt electricity and you slow down an entire system. Hit logistics and you affect movement. Target military infrastructure and you reduce operational capacity. Cities like Kyiv are especially critical, not just symbolically, but operationally. At the same time, attacks at this scale rarely stay perfectly contained, and that's where the debate begins. Has Ukraine done enough to protect its infrastructure? Or are there gaps in how priorities are set? These aren't easy questions, but they matter. In an ideal scenario, everything would be protected. In reality, that's not possible. Ukraine faces a choice: spread defenses thin across the country, or concentrate protection on key areas. Each option carries trade-offs. Focus on major cities, and other regions become more exposed. Distribute evenly, and no location is fully secure. So this isn't just about decision-making, it's about operating under real constraints. Then we come back to the original question. Why does the Iskander keep appearing? Does Russia have that many? The answer likely sits somewhere in between. Production is still ongoing, and it's clearly prioritized. But more importantly, usage has become more controlled. Instead of launching many at once, they're used selectively, one or two at the right moment. This creates two effects: physical impact on high-value targets, a psychological impression that the system is always available, and in modern warfare, perception itself matters. The April 30th strike may not be the largest, but it clearly shows where this conflict is heading. This is no longer just about volume, it's about integration. Drones apply pressure. Missiles deliver precision. Air defenses are forced to make split-second decisions. And within that dynamic, the real question is no longer who is stronger, but who can sustain under continuous pressure. This content is created solely for educational and informational purposes. It is intended to provide insights based on verified data, credible sources, and careful analysis. Our goal is to foster a deeper understanding of modern military technology and current events, not to promote or endorse any form of conflict, propaganda, or political agenda. We strictly oppose the spread of misinformation and hoaxes. Every piece of information presented has been carefully sourced from reliable, publicly available references. We encourage viewers to approach the topic with critical thinking and respect for all sides involved, maintaining a focus on knowledge sharing and open discussion.